What makes a community happy, healthy, and prosperous? Good schools, safe neighborhoods, places to play, thriving small and local businesses, training for workers. But too often, companies are eager to strip communities of the money that makes prosperity possible, extracting tax breaks and other subsidies under the guise of economic development. These subsidies overwhelmingly go to CEOs of some of the biggest, most profitable companies in the world, who fail to create good jobs while depleting public resources that could have been used on things that matter.
I'm Greg LeRoy, the Executive Director of Good Jobs First, and we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. Good Jobs First is the leading reform group within American economic development. We keep finding that companies that are getting huge subsidies are paying below average wages, and that's nuts. We think if you're going to get that much in taxpayer money, at the very least, there should be great jobs getting created. So it's all about fixing the programs, and to do that, you have to empower people with information, and that's what we do.
I'm most proud of the tools that we've created. I think we have a unique set of resources, particularly Subsidy Tracker and Violation Tracker. There are no other databases like this. The information that we've gathered gives the campaigners issues to raise in campaigns.
My name is Marino Taylor II. I'm Executive Director for the Fund My Future Coalition. We want to make sure that our public tax dollars are being spent on the public. And currently we have a huge issue within economic development philosophy where a lot of our public tax dollars, unfortunately, are going into private pockets for their private benefit.
In 2019, I graduated from one of the top public high schools in Philadelphia. And then when I started at Good Jobs First, I found out that there was a report that Philadelphia School District lost the most in the country to corporate tax abatements. And so that was really jarring to hear because we had so many issues. We had no air conditioning in some classrooms. We had the ceiling collapse in a stairwell and you just had to walk around the rubble every day. And all of that money was just going to these big corporations. Good Jobs First had actually been really instrumental in passing some legislation to try and curb this problem of these huge subsidies and this loss of funding, using this data to make a difference in the lives of these students.
I have known about Good Jobs First since I was working running Policy Matters Ohio. Good Jobs First would help us understand the implications for schools when tax breaks were given away by local communities, and that really hurt kids. And so I saw the Teachers Union in Ohio sort of using Good Jobs First data really effectively.
We get paid to help people make what John Lewis used to call good trouble.
We are currently working on a project with Earth Justice where we're investigating crypto mines in states such as Texas, North Dakota, and Kentucky. These crypto mines are receiving subsidies from the states, but from what we can tell, they don't produce that many jobs, perhaps 10 a year. Ratepayers are seeing an increase in their payments because they're subsidizing the energy-sucking crypto mines that are running in their communities.
It's absolutely true that Good Jobs First is the only organization of its kind in the progressive movement doing the kind of work that it does. And if Good Jobs First didn't exist today, we would need to create it.
We created a virtuous cycle, right, between winning disclosure, grabbing the data, making the data useful, and then helping people use the data in campaigns to win better programs and better deals.
And what I see Good Jobs First doing is over a really long period, standing up and saying, we ought to question what money interests are asking for, and we ought to ask ourselves if that's what's good for kids, if that's what's good for families, if that's what's good for our communities, and if that's what's good for our planet. And so I just think it's an enormously useful institution, and I'm just very glad Good Jobs First is around.
In a complicated world, Good Jobs First helps people understand how economic development really works and how we can use public dollars to help communities thrive.